Am I the asshole for abandoning my children? I have 2 children and almost 3 YO and almost 1 YO. I am planning on joining the military after my youngest is weaned. This has been the plan since before my husband and I got married. My husband is also in the military and our plan is to transfer both of our GI Bills to our kids. So they'll be set up when the time comes for them to go to college. However, joining the military will require me to leave for 8 weeks for basic training, and I have been getting a lot of criticism from friends and family saying that I am abandoning my children and that I am going to scar them by leaving for that amount of time. I am having a really hard time with this because I just want what's best for them, and since I haven't worked in 3 years, I see this as being the best way to set all of us up in the long term. But I feel awful about leaving my children. So am I the asshole? Info: our children will be staying with my husband, and he is non-deployable. My tech school is at the base where we are currently stationed, so I would be back after basic. Both my husband and I will be in non-combat roles. It will be roughly a year from now, so our kids will be 2Y and 4Y when I leave. More info: the reason this has to happen more or less now is because we will only be at this base for 3 or 4 years. So waiting until my youngest is older would extend the amount of time I'm away from them. You are going to be a dual military family. That is exceptionally rough. You have not said anything about branch, schools, or deployments. There is a lot of missing information. I'm not familiar with how military families work. What's next after basic training? Could your husband be deployed at the same time as you ever? If so, what's the plan? When I was a small child, my dad used to regularly go away on ship's trials. He was responsible for all the pipework on board, and apparently I cried an ocean. When he wrote to my mom, he always included drawings for me of the ship with and pictures of him walking away from the ship. Then a train, and then a drawing of a house and a lady and a little girl, so I knew he was coming home. These situations can be made to work, but you have effort. I am almost 69 and I still have many of these drawings, and they still let me know how much he thought and cared. You have 21 yo. Why have 2 kids while the plan all along was to join the military? How you and your military husband will deal with the kids while deployed? Could happen THST both of you will be out at the same time? If so, who's gonna watch the kids? Who's gonna watch the kids while you are at this training? Honestly, you are not an asshole for following your dreams. You and your husband are an asshole for bringing 2 kids at this world in this conditions. This has been the plan since before my husband and I got married. I mean, why have children if you never actually plan to be there for them anyway? Is this really your only solution? A private's wages are minimum wage. Surely you can get a minimum wage job without leaving your very young children with IDK who for months at a time. Please do not take advice from Reddit on a child's development. Do the research. You will see just how devastating the impacts of leaving your children at this age can be. Edited to add: when I commented this, there was only one other comment that didn't say something along the lines of "you do you, girl. Your kid will be fine." Glad to see the comment with the most upvotes is by a professional who has done the research. I don't know. This sounds like you need to speak to a professional. Just because of who I am, I work full-time, and so does my husband, so our babies go to daycare. I wouldn't do it. Sometimes we make some sacrifices for a better life in the future, and that's great. But we always need to weigh out the pros, cons and cost: emotional, mental, physical. 21. With a 3-year-old. Joining the military? I guess it's normal in the USA. Your own brain is still developing, and you're making these decisions. I don't think you're an and if the father is with them they probably wouldn't feel the abandonment. I'd listen to the professional up there in the comments, but I don't know. It all seems so weird to me. Like, extreme. You say you want what's best for them, while planning for the future is noble. They need you now. What's best for them is you, physically present during their formative years. The military can wait. Honestly, this isn't popular at all, but I agree with the expert's opinion at the top. Only because I'm a nanny and have worked with children who have been negatively affected by this situation. If you can put it off, it would be a lot better. Or follow the advice of the expert. Info: Why did you have 2 kids before the age of 21 if you always planned on joining the military? Is your only reason for joining the military so that your children will be set up when the time comes to go to college? What if your kids don't want to go to college? Or get academic or sports scholarships? Or end up joining the military themselves? I think the risk of abandonment issues now does not outweigh the potential benefit of college security in 17 years. Not the asshole, but maybe put some more thought into it. IDK: Try not having kids when you don't even have your life together. Lol. Almost 8 weeks? You're the asshole. Simple as. You're the asshole. The first 5 years old a kid's life are the most important in terms of brain development. Don't give them mental issues for life for the sake of a college fund. They may not even go to college. You're the asshole. Anyone who would have a family and then join the military are essentially abandoning their children. If you want to join the military, do that first and then have kids when you get out. No, you're not the asshole. Your husband is a parent too. They won't be alone and you'll be back. If you knew you were going to have kids at such a young age and then leave, you didn't really think this through. I support working moms, but both of you in the army leaves no primary caregiver. You are a mom first. Try finding something else that won't require you joining the army. Or ask your partner to. You're the asshole. Military life is horrendous for children. You know those videos in which children are crying when they see their military parents come back? Those aren't sweet. Those aren't cute. The children are traumatized. There is pain on their faces. Unless there is absolutely no way to feed your children without being in the military, get a local job. Worry about college later. Be there for your kids now. You're the asshole. There's a reason most military brats have major issues. Not the asshole. I have never once heard a father be criticized for going on deployment and leaving the kids with their mother. And for far longer than 8 weeks. What the hell is the double standard? You're the asshole. You were pregnant at 17-18 and then again at 20. You've realized your husband actually has a life and you're stuck being a SAH mom. Running away to the military gives you an out. Minus the shame of being a bad mother. Abandoning your children isn't the answer. Going back to school or learning a skill so you can become employable is. You too deserve to have a life that is fulfilling and you can have a purpose without abandoning your children. You're a selfish, immature excuse for a mother and your children deserve better. You're the asshole. These kids are babies and you are already going to irreparably damage them. These poor kids never stood a chance. You're the asshole for joining an imperialist murder machine and then again for leaving children behind to do so. Plenty of other career paths out there that don't involve being an imperialist dog. Just because you had a plan and are acting on that plan doesn't make you the good person. It make you worse because you specifically make a ridiculous plan and are digging your heels into it. YTA.